Last time I did a video on this topic, some of my viewers, some of my listeners kind of mentioned that I didn't do a full discussion on what's actually good. So again, I get asked about this question a lot of times. Hey, what's better? Should I buy or lease my vehicle? There are so many other factors that we should consider when we're going to be making this decision of either buying or leasing a vehicle. It's not a one simple answer because it really depends on what kind of a business you are in, uh, what kind of a what are your needs from that vehicle. If you have a crew of 3 4 men and they and having an older vehicle, if you own it, then an older vehicle it breaks down, you're gonna have 4 or 5 men sitting not producing, making any money for you. Then yeah, you should get a newer vehicle every so often, so maybe the lease will work for you. But if it's a one-man show and you do a pretty good job on keeping up with the all the maintenance on time, and when you bought the vehicle you were able to get some kind of a package that some of your maintenance or most of your maintenance is taken care of for first 100,000 kilometers. So it really depends what kind of business you are in. One of my clients, we they have a crew of 3 men, and if they are sitting, and if their vehicle breaks down and the guys sit, yeah, they have to give the meals, they have to pay for the hotel, so it doesn't really make sense for them to have older vehicle. So buying isn't really an option for us, so that's why they always go with lease. Let's quickly talk about some of the features of each option. Last time, if you watch my TikTok video or my YouTube video, you'll see that maybe I gave you guys historical numbers from 2021, but numbers have changed, and government is allowing a little bit more in tax deductions. For the lease, monthly lease of $900 plus GST and HST can be claimed $10,000, $800, $10,800 for the month. You can certainly get a lease that's more than that amount. It's just that it doesn't give you a tax break. You can definitely pay it out of the business. It does not give you the tax break. Repair and maintenance, you can claim that. You can claim the registration cost. You can claim the fuel cost. Purchase vehicle. It used to be $30,000. Now class 10.1 government has increased it to $34,000. I believe in 2022 that you can go out and buy a vehicle that's worth $45,000, but all you can claim to be expensed for that vehicle is $34,000 max, and that's based on class 10.1 CCA rate of 30%. So if you do the calculation, it comes out to be around $5,100 in the first year that you can claim. You can claim the interest that you paid to purchase the vehicle. You can claim the repair and maintenance. You can claim the registration, and you can claim the fuel. So we talked about this in the last video. So this is what I did. I wanted to do a little bit more a deep dive into this topic, and I know people have other questions, and maybe I'm not covering all those topics. One of the things that was asked, which I will talk about, is how long does it take to fully expense your vehicle? And answer is, I guess if you're buying a vehicle in the first 10 years or so, you have used up most of the value of the vehicle. Based on this declining rate of 30%, you can continue to get the deduction indefinitely, but that amount gets smaller and smaller and smaller each year for you. But let's talk about, so what I did, I went to the Toyota Canada's website and I did the Toyota Sienna lease. So here in front of you, I'm taking the Toyota Sienna, which is a 8-passenger vehicle. Value is close to $44,000, $242.18. Weekly payments of $153.33. And here are the features. So rate of 8.49%. And the lease end value, please keep that in mind. The lease end value is something that you'll have to pay if you want to buy this vehicle at the end of its lease term, 5 years. To finance it, so as you could see, the lease vehicle price is, I guess, almost $2,000 cheaper. And that's because of the GST amount. They don't include the GST, HST amount in the leased vehicle price because they will charge you through the lease when they lease you for it. But the vehicle is priced at, so let's say this vehicle is priced at $46,000, $464.78. In this case, and they do this to you, they'll give you the weekly amount, which looks smaller on a lease, and then they give you bi-weekly amount, which looks bigger on the finance. But it is actually bi-weekly amount. So this is how much you're paying in 2 weeks, and this lease amount is actually a weekly amount. Not too sure why they do that. I'm not too sure the reasoning behind it, but it gets confusing. This amount, if I look at it, that looks really small, but it's weekly. And so this amount is bi-weekly. It is a little bit more than the weekly amount, and more than likely because you're paying it off sooner, I'm sure. So this is for actually 72 months, the finance, so I'm wrong, and this is for 60 months. So I did the math on it. So keeping this in mind, we're buying a 2023 Sienna 8-passenger, which the total price is $46,464.78. We have two options. We're gonna lease it for $153.33 weekly, or we're gonna finance it, because nobody these days has the $40,000-$50,000 cash sitting, especially when they're starting a business. So either you're gonna lease it or you're gonna finance it. So let's figure out in the end how much money you're paying and how much money you're actually saving in taxes. So lease. So $153.33 times that by 52 weeks times that by 5 years. So your total lease that you will be paying for Toyota Sienna is $39,864.80 in 5 years. So at the end of the lease term, if you remember, we looked at it, you will be paying another $20,273 at the lease term if you want to buy the vehicle. Let's assume that most of the people, they end up just signing a new lease every 5 years. You're in a business where you do need a newer vehicle every time, so it's easier for you to get out of the lease in 5 years and start a new lease. So based on this, you will end up paying $60,139 for a vehicle that was originally worth $46,000. Lease and then buying it out $20,000. So I called them up and I said, what other? So I called them up. I called the Toyota in Alberta and asked them, what comes with the lease cost. So, and to my surprise, I thought when you're leasing a vehicle, all the maintenance is their problem, but that's not true. So leasing, you will pretty much get the same deal that you will get if you're buying a vehicle. So buying a vehicle, your first 8 maintenances or 10 maintenances are free. They'll do it for you for her first 100,000 kilometers. They'll do it for you. I think it's similar for a purchase vehicle as well. So monthly lease cost comes to $613.32. Still under, I apologize, that should be $900, but it doesn't matter. It's still under the maximum allowed. Let's look at purchase. So if you purchase the vehicle, that which is again the same price, $46,000, $464.78. Now, bi-weekly payments, 367 times that by 26 bi-weeks in a year, times that by 7 years. In the end, you're paying $57,000, $269.16 interest. I mean, at the interest rate of 7.9%. So, purchasing, so Sienna, so monthly cost, so you are actually paying 3,000, almost $3,000 less if you're purchasing a vehicle. Interest is 7.9%. Interest paid over 7 years is $10,000, 65. I did the math. I used one of the Excel formulas to come up with that, how much interest we would pay over the 7 year period. So that the amount is $10,000, 65. This interest amount is significant because if you're purchasing a vehicle and you're paying interest, you can claim the interest portion on your tax. So along with the that $34,000 CCA, we can claim 10,065 divided by 7 years, 1 year of value each year for our expenses. Okay, so I did the math and this is what I came up with. So if you purchase a vehicle, first year you're only getting the half year rule, you're getting $5,100 tax deduction. And then what I did, I took the 10,065 and divide that over 7 years. That's a yearly amount for 7 years. But now we're going to only talk about 5 years because just to be a little bit more comparative. So over the 5 years period, you will end up expensing $34,250 if you purchase a vehicle. And on the other side, if you lease the vehicle, the same amount, the full amount every year is leased. Can be expensed. So you will expense actually $39,837.15 over the 5 year period. So what that means is, you are actually paying, you can expense almost $5,500, $5,500, $5,600 more. You can claim more in expenses. So what does it really mean? That really means the tax savings of $600 over the span of 5 years. But you have to think about it. We originally paid, after we did all the math, here, lease we will end up paying $60,000 for the vehicle, but purchasing we are only paying $57,000. So there's a $3,000 savings at the beginning. But if you lease the vehicle, you can expense more based on this formula. There are other factors to get involved if you talk about maintenance, but we're just strictly talking about buying versus lease. So it's still an open-ended answer that I have in front of I have for you guys. Yeah, there are other things that we can talk about. In the 6th year when the lease is over, that you buy it out, you pay the purchase amount at the end of the lease term, and then gets converted as an asset. Then you can put a CCA on that. So there are a lot of things that we can discuss, but I just wanted to talk about the first 5 years, lease versus buy. Hopefully I have given you guys enough information. If you guys still want to know more about what will happen, how much more we can, how much more I can expense in the 6th, 7th, 8th years, I'm more than happy to continue the discussion. Please give me your comments, your tips, and let me know how I did. And if there's something that I have left, please let me know. I am trying to make myself better. I'm just starting out, so give me tips. Looking forward to you guys